Friends, let me first of all thank Akron and APCO Worldwide and TARU for organizing such a roundtable. In fact, it's my privilege that this is a sector on which you have invited me to speak, which is basically not my own domain. I was originally thinking that perhaps with the Secretary Urban Development being here, I would like to hear from him what is the plan and the vision for this country, for the smart cities, which will be coming in the near future. Nevertheless, it's my privilege that I'll be in your midst for some time to speak. The concept paper is very much in the public domain. All that they have been talking about is, to begin with, let's say, building infrastructure, both physical, social, and economic infrastructure have to be built in. Okay, fine. But let me start by saying that if you talk about cities, the cities historically has been a civilizational change. The story of civilization is the story of cities. Whether it is Rome, whether it is Greece, whether it is London or any other place we take, the fulcrum of civilization has been this city. And to be, put it like this, the way civilization emerged, it is the story of cities where you scale so many heights and things pass. It has passed over the years. In 1900, let's say 100 years before, 1949, there could be hardly 20 cities in the world having a population of more than 1 million. Now the position has changed dramatically over the years, in the 100 years, with coming of technology, coming of various resources, whether it is coal, petroleum, natural gas, or anything like that, with coming of the new resources and the new technology, and the city also have come up in large number. Today it must be 450 plus. So 450 cities in the world, the way it has grown in the 100 years, should be some lesson for us to go for the future. The way we want to go to the future is something that we should learn from the past. Fine. Now, let's say 19th century, all history, those who know history and talking about history, have been dealing only with empires. The empire was built, empires were crumbling, that was 19th century. 20th century is something that we are talking about nation states. Those who have studied history, they know, or political science, they talk about nation states. Now time has come, 21st century would be century of cities. So this is something that we have to think and plan, because this city has a magnetic pull. It has a centripetal force, and people migrate in large number from the rural areas to the cities. We will not ask this question, what distinguishes the rural areas from the cities, village from the towns or the cities. We will not say why people migrate to the city, all of you know, and lot of discussions have been taking place, coming in the newspapers, articles and books about how people migrate and why they migrate. And we also been hearing and reading about the consequences of this city development and urbanization. And every day you open the newspaper, you will not find out the current account deficit. You will talk about the congestion, if not pollution, the congestion, pollution, and all that is being talked about is in the newspaper. And all that is also talked about is rape, murder, violence, and the loss of security of living in the cities. So therefore the challenges are very, very great. Now, if we talk about smartness, all of us have been reading about what is that it makes a city smart. The definition I was trying to locate and try to find out what could possibly be spoken about smartness or the smart city. I was finding there are three views which have been emerging over these months. Ever since the government of India has been talking about smart cities, there have been several writings, and we find it every day. One theory has been that we apply technology, we apply sensors, we apply CCTV cameras, and we coordinate the entire communication network of the city, and it would be a smart city. The other interpretation, other view is that a smart city means creating smart city means you must also create smart people. The smart states, the smart urban local bodies, there must be thinking, there must be decision making, there must be some people who think what is going to happen to the city. If you go to a city like Ara Chhapra in Bihar, you will find see, it's such a dirty place. Ara Chhapra is not only one example, there are several such places in the country, many cities are there. They are worth seeing that it requires a transformational change. So many people talk about that there must be a local body, there must be sub-national governance, there must be thinking, there must be decision making, there must be planning for the future. So this is about smartness. There are two ways of looking at smartness. Then there is another view also about smartness, that the city systems are collapsing. As I said, the city systems are collapsing. City is a system itself having many subsystems. Those subsystems must be reactivated. The system itself has to be reactivated. So reactivating the systems and the subsystems of the city would make it transformational, and that would be smartness. Or utilizing the meager resources that we have, whether it is water, electricity, land, or whatnot. All the resources that we have are so finite there, so limited there. If you could optimize on the resources, that would be smartness. Perhaps, to my mind, all the three fit into the bill. All the three definitions of smartness will hold good if we talk about to bring about change in the way the cities must respond. Now, if I talk about the systems and subsystems, perhaps all of us know whether it is citizen-centric services, whether it is security, safety, public transport, water supply, roads, flyovers, bridges, or whatever it may be. All the subsystems have been defined. There are 8 to 9 subsystems are there. We may practically talk about each one of them and how they have been responding. Let us talk about disaster management. This is one thing which has not been talked about in any discussion or any literature so far on smartness. But if you take the case of what has happened in Srinagar, we have not been able to, that resilience perhaps is something that we have to think and create, how to come in the cities. Take the case of Mumbai. Some years before, entire Mumbai was submerged under waters for days on end, and we have no answer how to get out of this, how to extricate ourselves from the living of submerged conditions in Mumbai. Or it may be Guwahati. Or take the case of extreme weather conditions that has happened in Bhubaneswar. It has found mention in The Inconvenient Truth of Al Gore. He also mentioned Bhubaneswar. The extreme weather conditions years before, and people have died of this stroke, heat strokes. So there are many such things are happening. Perhaps the cities are not in a position. They prove unequal to the task of getting out of the challenges of disaster management, not to talk about any other issues of safety and security. So therefore the challenges are so great. Time has come. If we should address holistically. It should be a comprehensive planning so that we go to the next generation of claiming that we have done something for this country. Perhaps this is a welcome change that are taking place with the new government in the center. It doesn't talk about renewal. It doesn't talk about urban renewal. Perhaps the smart city construction or smart city concept must bring re-engineering. Nothing like a renewal, it must be re-engineering. Time has come. From urban renewal, we should go to urban re-engineering. That is where we will be able to make a dent and make a change, and there will be real smartness will come when we really go for this. Now, let me talk about what this re-engineering should be. You see, many years ago, I had a chance to be in Shanghai and with then Chief Minister of Gujarat, now with the Prime Minister, and we are there. I think it was built by IBM or Cisco, I don't remember. There was a journey. They are showing it was a walkthrough that you are walking into Shanghai of 2025, 2035, 2050. Oh, you are in 2050 very much there in that walkthrough. You could see for yourself what is there in the city that will come in 2050, what will come in 2035, what will come in 2025. It was a very well designed journey. Why I say so is that somebody says making smart cities, it is not just a transformation overnight, it's a journey. That journey we have to catch, make a beginning and go to the end. So therefore, similar kind of thoughts, the way we saw the walkthrough, the way we saw the kind of films and videos made for cities to come in the future. So perhaps for all types of cities that we have to go to the core of this city and try to build something which is specific to that city. If you talk about Delhi, now what is central core of Delhi? If you take away the secretariat, if you take away the north block, south block and the entire administrative arrangement of this and take to some place, to Mao or some place, let's say, it will crumble. The crucial core competence of the city is something that we must strike. What is crucial to Mumbai? If that crucial core competence of the city is removed, the city will crumble. So therefore, we have to identify, if you want to make things smart, we have to identify what are the core competency, what are the basic things about the city which must be sustained so that the city survives and goes forward. If you have read, some time back I was also reading, the Singapore Home Minister and the Foreign Minister was speaking to a group of journalists. I don't know if journalist friends are here, our Mr. Sao is a journalist. So you are speaking to the journalist about that it can extend support to Delhi for making a smart city. What is that he would mean by smart city? I will go into that in details after some time, but let me talk about our yearning to become smart city, our yearning to join hands with cities who have already been smart. Now Shanghai can join hands with Mumbai, Singapore with Delhi, or for that matter Guangzhou with Ahmedabad, or for that matter, let's talk about recently when Honorable Prime Minister went to Japan, Kyoto can sign agreement with Varanasi and Kashi, and there could be a joint venture between both of them. So there are a lot of thoughts which are going on in the government, and they are innovative thoughts. We have to catch those innovative thoughts to see that our cities also catch up. Now when I am talking about these are best practices, copying the best practices and coping with the change. In order to cope with the change, we must also bring the change, and the change will come when we will join hands with cities and institutions where things have happened. So best practices must be learned. Now I was talking about what the Singapore Home Minister was talking about. Let's look at what he said. I have summarized in 2-3 lines what you are talking about to the journalist. He said, we can assist Delhi becoming a smart city by addressing the issues of the land scarcity. If you are going for making a smart city, we have to look for this land aspect of it, because take the case of how much land these cities are occupying. Globally, only 1% of this land is being occupied by the cities. 99% of land is in rural areas, but with 1%, you are contributing to almost 60% of the GDP. 1% of the land area you are occupying in cities, and you are contributing for 60% of the GDP. And it is the maximum consumption takes place here. The per capita income is also very high. Somewhere you must have read, it is in case of India, it's like 1.8 lakhs per person. So therefore, the way things are happening, the way things are changing, it is happening in the cities, but it is happening in a very small area. So the land is so much scarcity, you have to do a land use plan. A land use planning is something that is very much required. That is number one. Now next important thing is that you must have a legal mechanism. In India, all that's happening because the legal mechanism is so slack. We don't enforce. The result is that things are haywire. Now take the case of encroachments. Now can you remove the encroachment? There was a time when the administrators were trying to remove the encroachments in the city, make the city open and clean. You will find tremendous pressures on you. You will be virtually thrown to the brink of transfer. Many such things happen. You must have read in the newspaper. You will be happy to know that when the present Prime Minister, who was Chief Minister of Gujarat, he started a cleaning campaign of the cities, wherein he said, I am here behind you. All the district collectors have started cleaning these, all encroachments that are taking place in the cities and towns, and things have changed. So what is required is political will, and that political will, backed by the legal mechanism, then only things can be enforced and things will change. And without legal mechanism, things do not happen. Even today, I was in Boston a few months before, 2 months before. I found, or you must have seen also everywhere in the city, from carpet to carpet, there is not a single dust. PM 2.5 you will not find there. PM 10 you will not find there. But you will find enough in Delhi, or you will find enough in Ahmedabad, or in Calcutta or Mumbai. Why? It's because we are not doing the surfacing. And the reason why it is not done, because we are not enforcing the rule. We are not enforcing the rule of law. And somebody told me, a friend in New York, that if you are violating, you will be penalized. If you are wrongly parking, you will be penalized. So penalty is so high. The punitive aspect of law is so strong there, things are happening. Things will happen not just because of convention or because of personal motivation, it happens also because of enforcement. So therefore what is required is a legal mechanism. Am I in the right track? I think all of you, if you have anything, you can interject, or you can bring me to this like that. The other question is about basic planning. That basic planning which I mentioned about the physical infrastructure planning, social infrastructure, economic infrastructure, they have to do basic planning required for that. Then creating efficiency and productivity. Then talking about use of technology. I was reading somewhere in Gujarat Samachar, Taru is from Gujarat, Gujarat, that now our Gujarat Pollution Control Board, now they have started a system of monitoring two things. One is that if there is congestion somewhere, in your mobile you will get a message that there is congestion, you take a diversion. If there is some pollution, in your mobile you can get to know what is the level of pollution there. So this is initiative that which we started. I was chairman of, I was secretary Forest Environment and Pollution Control Board, which was handling that time. We started these two initiatives. Now mobile technology, somebody had developed in San Francisco, and we had a meeting with Terry, and that technology available. We said, why not we apply that? At least through mobile, common man or citizen will come to know how much is the pollution, where is the pollution, where is the traffic jam, and how people can get away from the traffic jam. So these are certain things can happen if we apply technology. Perhaps a lot of us are taking place in this technology and networking. I will not take much of the time. Then there have to be a neighborhood. All that we do, housing is not buildings. He says, housing is not simply buildings. Housing is building a community, building a neighborhood. So creating a neighborhood and building a community, that is what required if you want to go for creation of smart cities. And finally, it should be sustainable. In the beginning I said, resources are so limited, you have to go for sustainability. Do you have time to continue further? So, if I talk about today infrastructure, technology and environment. Of course, environment side we have not talked much. Now take all the cities. The way the garbage are being dumped here and there, the human health is at stake. There is no TSDF, treatment of the municipal waste. There is no CTP, treatment of the sewage. Of course, हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर कहते थे, कचरा से कंचन, in Gujarati, कचरा से कंचन. How to create wealth from the waste? Create wealth from the waste. That stage we have not reached. We have not gone for a energy recovery from this kind of waste. We are told these waste dumps do not have sufficient quality as much as the Western European waste. So we cannot really go for that kind of energy recovery because they are very poor quality things that we find in our waste, and the biodegradable quantity also so high, so less you can't really extract methane. You cannot extract. We had an experiment in Delhi, Dimarpur. I think all of you are from Delhi. I am not from Delhi, but Dimarpur we had an experiment of recovering energy from this, through pulverization and all those methodology we adopted, we didn't succeed. So therefore, now maybe we are not thinking of that. We should go for solar cities. We should create solar cities. There are crises of electricity. We should go for, there is a demand side management. Then we should also go for creation of additional source of energy through solar, rooftop solar, energy we must create to sustain the cities. So like this, there are so many things can be talked about. Now take case of water. Now today most of the cities are stressed because of water. If you have seen a book by Sunita Narayan, if anybody says excreta matters, how you say excreta matters, the title is so misleading, so that you feel, should we really talk about excreta in a public place when so many people, civilized people are around? But this essence of the book or the theme of the book is that most of the cities, 68 cities they studied, and most of the cities they are depending on water which is coming not from just within the 1% landmass which they are occupying. It's coming almost from a distance of 100 to 200 kilometers. Whether it is Mysore, whether it is Pune, whether it is Aurangabad, whether it is Ahmedabad, everywhere water is coming from a long distance. Can you sustain cities when water is brought from such a long distance? We are sustaining Gujarat by carrying water from Narmada, almost 2,200 kilometer pipeline with bulk water transmission pipelines. Water is being carried to 150 plus cities and towns. You can do so for a short time. Can you do for a long time? So therefore you should also find various ways and means of sustaining the city by augmenting the present sources of water availability. Whether it is groundwater, whether it is surface water, whether it is rainwater through harvesting, or recycling the used water, reusing the water. Like several such methods and modicums have to be applied, and they also have to be built into the system of basic planning which I mentioned. That basic planning has to be done. So therefore, in nutshell, you are given 20 minutes time. It is becoming. You see, therefore, what I say, today if you talk about smart cities, you should have not only Hi-Fi, you should have Wi-Fi, you should have Safai. So Hi-Fi is something we talked about, the way technology has been built into the system. Wi-Fi, this networking that already all of you have been talking about, but you also must understand, you have to sustain, you have to live, there must be Safai. Safai is something not simply Safai, it is something to do with safety, health and sustainability. Thank you very much.